I just finished Rocky. Waiter,
Oh, what can I do for you, sir?
the pork has been extra tender these last few days. Have you guys changed the recipe or something?
No, sir. The change actually comes from our suppliers. You see, they've started a new initiative where they're letting this up-and-coming boxer who's going for this heavyweight championship come into their warehouse and beat their meats.
In in like a sexual context?
And no, sir. The pig corpse is chilling in the freezer.
Okay, and then is he required to wash his hands, or what's the sanitary side of this?
And no, sir. We've actually had reports from guests that his bloodied fists have really improved the taste of our pork.
Funny enough, I was just about to say the same thing. Well, you heard the man, kids, dig in.
So right off the bat, I love that he worked for the underworld. I think it makes him a lot more human, and personally, just makes him a lot more relatable to the audience. I liked how there was that Skid Row thing to show that he was being not only pushed out of the gym, but also kind of symbolize how he was being pushed out of like the world he knew. There was some weirdly dubbed audio throughout the film, which I found to be super hard to watch and almost embarrassing because it's so obviously like rushed, and they just realized in the post production like, oh my god, he sounded horrible. We got to get him back in real quick. I didn't understand why Rocky talked to that little girl and told her not to be a whore. That was a weird, like, controlling thing, I guess, that they were going for, but I don't know. I didn't believe it was necessary, and it never really came back into the film, so it was very strange. I don't get why the villain, Creed, wanted to fight a descendant of Columbus. Like, that was his justification for selecting Rocky. Rocky also gaslit his date, and that was just really weird, because Rocky's not exactly an anti-hero. He's just kind of old and a little rusted, and I don't understand why they needed to have him gaslight Adrian. So awful. I did like how Rocky said he was an introvert, though, and he wasn't like the introvert where he's like, oh, I can't talk to people. He just didn't like people, and I think that's great. And, like, to be perfectly honest, I think he gave a good performance as, like, an introvert who just kind of hated people. I liked the manager versus Rocky relation. I thought they worked together really well. And personally, I thought the manager was probably the best actor of the film. Lots of long shots, which didn't involve a ton of movement or choreography, but I still, I think it's necessary to compliment where compliment is due. Overall, do not have a ton to say for this movie. I kind of get why it's such like an important movie in American cinema. It definitely kind of set this precedent of going forward that like we're the best people in the world, and I think that like this movie really like shows why Americans think that. We just think that we work a ton harder and that we fight a lot harder. Overall movie, I'll give it a C. It was fine, I guess. Not the greatest thing in the world. Certainly not helped by its lack of nuance and its lack of pretty much any technical outstanding.